Hello, I'm Steve Brown. I'm Director of Cybersecurity and Resilience at Mastercard. I'm sorry I can't be with you this week here over there in Portugal. Very much was looking forward to the event, but hopefully joining virtually will be just as much fun for you and for me. As a founding member of SIGA, Mastercard are committed to ensuring the confidentiality, the integrity and availability of everything that we do across sector to ensure that we can all access goods, services and sporting events with the confidence that we would do in our professional and our personal lives. Mastercard are a technology company. We are in a digital first world, and as we're living more of our lives online, unfortunately, cyber criminals are following us. As enablers of global commerce, Mastercard has a duty to protect the trust that people have in our digital economy. We ensure that transactions and interactions are more securer than ever before, no matter how they take place. And we live out that responsibility through many different means. We've committed to supporting small businesses during the pandemic recovery with financial, technology, product and insight assets. We're working with the development of AI-powered solutions like our safety net and decision intelligence that have saved customers over £25 billion in fraud over the last 2 years alone. We work with organizations like the Global Cyber Alliance, the Cyber Readiness Institute, SIGA, the National Cybersecurity Centre, and many more to promote information sharing and cross-industry collaboration. Cyber resilience and fraud analysis have never been more vital to securing the confidentiality, the integrity and availability of your data and that of your customers. When we think of recent sporting events and recent major cyber attacks that have been conducted against critical infrastructure, those across different services, but particularly within the sporting world, are feeling the severity and impact of those incredibly invasive forms of criminality and disruption. Mastercard recognizes those threats and that enterprise systems are suffering and have invested, and we have invested, to support security teams in strengthening their infrastructure by proactively identifying third-party vulnerabilities, prioritizing critical issues, and creating a detailed, quantifiable action plan to mitigate threats, both cyber and physical, that you would need to efficiently manage and improve your overall operational resilience. Throughout 2022, we've seen an increasingly complex network of business relationships that are exposed or exposing participants to systemic operational risk, and our national security, our public safety and our economic growth are being exposed to major disruptions from cyber attacks. Mastercard is working with our partners at SIGA and across every customer base to proactively identify and mitigate those threats. And those are two areas I really want to focus on first: identification and mitigation. With a stable and secure network in place, you would be able to build solutions that help your stakeholders, your customers, attendees at sporting events, participants in sporting events to identify and mitigate threats in their cyber environment by looking at it from the outside in. We all have a stake in protecting our assets from cyber threats, whether we are consumers protecting our personal data, whether we're financial institutions protecting our businesses, or whether we are sporting institutions protecting our customers, our participants, and our attendees. Our solutions are all about doing each of those, doing our bit to protect your information within the cyber environment, and doing all that we can to carry the Mastercard brand globally to proactively detect potential data compromise events and identify those cyber threats and vulnerabilities. But how do we go about it? Well, for us at Mastercard, it's about defining resilience. It is about working together to anticipate, withstand, recover, and evolve from the different threats that we're under every single day. But first, resiliency is about humility. It's about acknowledging that your organization has flaws and that given the value of the data and assets that you have, you will be a target for a cyber criminal group or a nation state. And in all reality, you will be the victim of an attack, a data breach, a ransomware attack, or more. But it's then about how you respond. MasterCard are one of the most attacked companies in the world, but thankfully, touch wood, we're one of the most successfully defended. And we gather that threat intelligence to help protect ourselves, but then we share it with yourselves. It's about identifying the different threats, about utilizing that intelligence to make qualified data-driven decisions to help secure your environment. Cyber resilient organizations are those which consistently and successfully ensure the confidentiality, the availability and integrity of their digital assets, as well as the networks and systems and stadiums on which that carry them. They are critically focused on identifying and protecting their crown jewels, the assets that make us and our businesses what they are. And they understand that their cyber risk environment is constantly evolving. And so we are evolving to match and anticipate that threat. In practice, that means resilience must be both practical and attitudinal. Certainly, there is a range of concrete steps that organizations can and should take to improve their resilience, spanning people, processes, and technology. But the broader objective for MasterCard and the overall ecosystem is to develop an organization-wide mindset of cybersecurity, a culture of resilience. Such a mindset acknowledges that cybersecurity breaches are inevitable. It's a case of when and not if, and it's how we prepare our organizations accordingly. Moreover, if those stakes are rising quickly, as they are, then the vulnerabilities of many organizations are expanding at an even faster rate. For one thing, the accelerated entrance of technology into the workplace provides attackers with an increasing number of entry points. And by the end of 2022, some 57 billion devices will be connected online by the Internet of Things. That surface expands and it brings opportunity for us all as professionals and as in our personal lives. But where security is not at the heart of that ecosystem, it also brings opportunity for cyber criminals, for organized crime groups, and for nation states to take advantage. And we've seen examples of that throughout the sporting world at several major events this year, where scammers, fraudsters, and cyber criminals have caused untold disruption to major events. So for us at MasterCard and fellow SIGA members, it's about how we secure that infrastructure, how we protect our customers' data, how we protect our own infrastructure and become more resilient to those types of events. And finally, I want to leave you with some thoughts. In conclusion, resilience requires proactivity. Equally though, however, it's important to acknowledge that cyber resilience is a board-wide responsibility rather than the purview of any single individual or committee or organization or alliance. If every part of that alliance is to successfully leverage resilience for competitive advantage, cybersecurity cannot be confined to a single silo. Discharging the board's cybersecurity resilience then becomes a shared endeavor. It will be a process with many moving parts, asking the right questions about attack readiness, response planning. Are we focused on training and engagement with our staff to build an enterprise-wide culture of resilience, strategizing for talent management at every level of the business in a cybersecurity context, and many more. Inevitably, resilience is a perpetual work in progress. As the organization changes, particularly as it focuses on new priorities, whether by geography, by sector, sales channels, business models, so too will the granular aspects of its cybersecurity resilience. In the context of digital transformation, that change may be both accelerated and far-reaching. The operating environment will also change. In this regard, the ability of the C-suite to see around corners, to foresee shifts in international markets, geopolitics, industry dynamics, the sporting world, all, for example, will be as important in the context of cybersecurity resilience as in a commercial sense. Indeed, the two will be inextricably linked. Not that every unknown is a known. The recent global pandemic taught us that we must expect the unexpected, even where we might have hoped for planning to be in place. So resilient boards are ready to adapt to unforeseen challenges, to mitigate risk, and to establish their organizations as ahead of the competition in the response to cyber security adversity. and we at Mastercard are here to work with you, to help with you, and to collaborate. Cybersecurity risk, meanwhile, is a known unknown, and the term is becoming more ubiquitous. Mastercard is delivering trust to power a connected economy through an approach that quantifies, automates, prioritizes, and ultimately mitigates risk. There is more work to do, however, and cybersecurity will be at the heart of that work. I hope the business case for building cybersecurity resilience is now clear, and that Mastercard and myself particularly are here to work together to help you all achieve that, and us as a collective at SIGA. Thank you very much for your time, and enjoy the rest of your week.